For another Trench Crusade bat rep. Getting into this game, it took me a while to get my models built and paint them. I'm not the best converter or painter in the world, far from it. But I'm proud of I've never really done any converting, and I've never really done. I'm not a great painter, but I think for me the conversion process was really cool. Like I said, I'm no great painter or converter, but I really like that quality in the game. This really takes me back to like these old school games where you really get invested into sort of your team, if you will. So anyway, having fun. I'm in Trench Crusade as well, but I'm also going to be getting into a few more games as well. Those are upcoming. But for now, let's just get into Trench Crusade. Me and my friend, we're going to play. Both of us are, again, sort of new to the game, so we're both learning. I'm bringing back my new Alba Antioch, and he's bringing some Iron Sultanate. It's a 900 ducat and 8 glory battle. We're back to the 1.3.6. And yeah, while we're doing that, hey, just like, subscribe, and comment. I'm going to continue to do bat reps and do some analysis, even maybe do some lore videos on Trench Crusade, but I'll be doing still one-page rules and a few other games that'll be coming up as well. All right, but for now, let's just get into this game. 900 ducats, 8 glory. We're playing the Claim No Man's Land scenario. Just, playtesting the rules. Again, just two newer players, and again, both of us are sort of just trying out our war bands here. So I think both of us would love some advice as we get into it as well. All right, so for the army lists, I've tweaked mine again. I really like this new Alba Assault attachment. Here, I like to play that way. I really like to play New Antioch, but I also like to play armies that are sort of in your face. So yeah, going back to it, I've got my lieutenant. He's rocking his machine armor and an assault rifle. I've given him actually a great sword and a trench club. So actually, he's going to be able to shoot his assault rifle and then charge in and just also hit with the trench club as well, with a combat helmet as well. So he's definitely the most expensive. I have him fire teamed up with a sniper priest. That's a really great combination I've seen, where you've got the sniper priest as part of a fire team. They go over there, they put that first blood marker or shot into the unit, and then you have the other unit that can kind of go bloodbath them if you can, get them there. Then I have a trench cleric. I've tweaked him as well. Dropped him down to grenades. I'm trying grenades out in this version of the army and just giving a sword. So no standard armor. That trench cleric's sort of just going to be a little bit. And then I've also tweaked my combat medic. So I've dropped, for the combat medic, I've just given him a satchel charge and actually a bolt action rifle. So, that combat medic is actually pretty, I wanted him to be decent at range. So this is actually a pretty decent little fire team as well up close, that trench cleric and that combat engineer can really just do a lot of damage up close. Then I've got my heavy mechanized infantry. I've also given him grenades. I'm trying the grenades out. And in addition to that, I realized with heavy, you can actually run a greatsword in just one hand. So actually, I just gave him a trench club. So this heavy mechanized infantry, once he gets within 8, he's going to hit really hard. He's going to throw a grenade and then just run up and just punch things with greatswords and trench clubs. Continuing with the combat medic, and then I'm running I ran these last times. I really like them. Just these shock troopers. 67 ducats is pretty good for them. Like I said, they're a little pricey, but not that bad. 67 ducats for a great sword and standard armor. I didn't give them grenades, but I may be trying that out in the future. I'm trying different things. I then switched out, so I have a yeoman that I've actually given the bagpipes to and just given him a pistol. So just trying again. I really think my army needs some sort of musical instrument. I also like that as an assault army. Those bagpipes negate fear. So that's a really, really nice thing going on that I think this army needs. I then just got a regular yeoman with a bolt action rifle. And again, I've got my witch burner and my observer as my allies. So just going and looking at the list here, so you can see on the top left, I've got I really worked on the army. I wanted to give them some blood and some blood and some grit. So I tried to do that. So I've got my 3 shock troopers up top. I've then got my observer and my witch hunter towards the left, and then towards the center is my the first fire team of my leader, my lieutenant, and then my sniper priest. Above them is the 2 yeomen. The yeoman with the book. I guess I'm running this more as like a kind of like a Spanish faction, so I have him more like singing hymns or something, like an opera singer. Anyway, so I'm going for that sort of thing. Got my combat medic, And then I have my combat engineer. So he's got his, kind of using to give him a little more armor to show that reinforced armor. And then I've got like an explosive device at his bottom. And then below that, I've got the heavy mechanized infantry. He's got like, I'm using basically his hand. It's all bloody. It's basically his hand is his club. And then I've got my trench cleric running right there. But just some more pictures as well. Yeah, just trying to work on the blood and the grit for the army. And then, yeah, that's just showing some of the conversions that I've got going here. Yeah, and then towards the back, I actually had to fix I need to work on getting these guys a little better because, like, they do, I printed them in resin and they are a little spindly, so I had to fix my combat medic. All right, so let's just go into the Iron Sultanate. So he's got to use Bazi Captain with alchemical ammunition and a halberd gun. That's a pretty nice combination: reinforced armor and a combat helmet. Pretty cheap for 138. He's got his Jibarium Alchemist. He's got with alchemical ammunition, which is a really nice upgrade. Reinforced armor, a Siege Giselle, and he's got sword and axe and a Holy Relic. And then he's got a very pricey assassin, 2 assassin's daggers, a reinforced armor, and grenades. So this guy is... He can do a lot, but he's 162 ducats is very pricey for that assassin. A Brazen Bull, Morad, Bombard, a standard armor, and then a greatsword. And he's got 3 Janissaries. I like this setup with Janissaries. They're a little expensive, but they're pretty good in that they've got alchemical ammunition, standard armor. He's got a Giselle, so he can't like charge and shoot, but he's got that greatsword knife. But the big thing is that these guys they're good in the short range shooting. And then they're good. So like 93 ducats is a little pricey for them, but they can do a lot. And then he's got a guard dog and then a Mameluke Ferris as well that he's fire teamed up with his Uspazi captain. So those two are going to be a fire team. Just looking out, he's using some War Machine models that he's going to be working on. So here's his Brazen Bull. Towards the left, the guy in the thing is his Uspazi captain, and then he's got this is his Mameluke, and then the other one is his Uspazi captain. Below then, he's got his 3 Jazzinaries, his guard dog, and he's got his the guy with the big rifle is the I forgot his name, the Alchemist. And then he's got his pretty cool little model that I like it. It's his assassin. So yeah, he's trying different things. We're all trying different things. Let's just go look at the setup here. So for setting it up, we don't really have trenches. So we went more for like a blasted buildings type of thing. And yeah, again, we've just set it up. So we've got the 2 objectives on the left, 1 in the center, and then right here on the 2 objectives on the right. So No Man's Land is I like No Man's Land. It's a nice, simple first scenario for newer players here. That's just showing some of the different perspectives. It's on a 4x4 board. So a lot of terrain, some blocking terrain with the buildings, but also we've got like some difficult terrain as well that we're using as cover. So those two, like, they're using those sort of like trenches where they're like difficult and cover terrain, where like they're hard to move through, but you can also like, if you're in it, basically we don't count the buildings as difficult terrain. They're just just blocking terrain, and that's just another picture as well of the battlefield. Yeah, just so for his setup, so he's got he's set up 2 of his Jazzinaries there to start sort of pushing up this end. He's got his Jibarian Alchemist, who's going to be basically going up to that building and just shooting things with that siege drill. Towards the center, this is just where he's got his big push. He's got a Jazzinary. He's got his Mameluke Ferris and his Uspazi Captain. Here's his Brazen Bolt, and then on the far left, he's got his Guard Dog. That's going to be sort of like running around and like trying to grab them in objectives. Like Guard Dogs, like I said, they're not too bad. So that's just showing his. And he also scouted up his assassin here. And as you can see here, his assassin is actually he's going to use this assassin because all I committed on this side was my my observer here. So I actually committed the other way. So some of my stuff are in building, but I'll show like a lot of my guys are actually in these buildings. So here's my musician basically, and then I have my units here, so they're going to be using that musician hopefully. And then I also on the other building towards the right, I have a lot more of my forces. So you can see the heavy infantry. I've got a shock trooper there, a yeoman, my combat engineer, and then I've got my medic and my cleric. So a lot of troops are going to be pushed. So here are all my troops, and like he's sort of went more a balance, but also put more of his troops here. And the only thing I basically having contesting this side of the board is my observer right now. So I'm basically really deployed very heavily closer here. I have to be careful because he has that Morad bomber, so that thing is really worrying to me. Yeah. Turn one, the Iron Sultan did good first, so it's 9 models to like 13. So he has a lot. First thing he does is he tries to just go ahead and do as a risky charge, but he fails the charge, so he isn't able to charge my observer with his assassin. I just go ahead and that brazen bull with that Morad bombers were, so I tried to just put some blood markers on him. I actually just move, and then I use the musician to get a dash up and cover. And then so this is my lieutenant, and he's got an assault rifle. He shoots, puts 2 shots into the brazen bull, so he just no down or anything. But I'm just going to try to stack the blood on that brazen bull. Yeah, he fire teams up. So the first thing whose Bozzy captain moves up, shoots at my lieutenant but misses, and then his Ferris moves up. He wasn't quite into range, and I think like he fails his dash to get in range. So my captain unscathed right now. Even though that captain's pretty tough, he's got machine armor on. So here, this is one of my shock troopers. If you see here, there's actually a bit of a close. So I'm trying to like dash first before I rush, but he actually just fails his dash on 3 dice. So this shock trooper just basically stays put. The brazen bull moves up and shoots at my captain. Now I think we're doing it wrong. We were actually, and I think this is why maybe the brazen bull didn't do as good as we expected, because we were counting cover and terrain. But I believe the Morad bomber works by just picking a spot. Sort of like and maybe we can get some help on that. I don't know. Does it work sort of like the artillery ridge where you don't get long range and cover? Anyway, that's how we played it. So he did miss, but he was able to, because it's a blast marker, he was able to knock down my captain here, but no damage. So at this point, yeah, I push up. So I'm trying to push up this side to get this objective. I just move up, but I fail my dash. He moves up. He fails his dash. You're going to notice, you're going to notice a little thing here. A lot of failed dashes. I push up one of my yeomen. He's sort of using that mechanized infantry as like moving cover. Fails his dash as well. He actually moves up. He passes his dash and then moves on to the objective. It's not shown. So he moves up and then he passes his dash and then just goes here. And then again, I move up here and I fail my dash. A lot of failed dashes, let's just say. So his guy, she's got a heavy weapon. So all they can do is just move up. Basically, just moves up into position with that siege chisel to start shooting stuff. So that's his alchemist. And yeah, again, this is just moving up with my. He actually doesn't have a dash, so my witch joiner just moves up. And then, actually, I'm trying to get my bagpipes or my operas or whatever you want, my musician in range. But he actually fails a dash, so he's stuck in the open. I actually get one of my dashes past it. So my shock troop moves around and then basically uses a dash move to get into cover right next to the lieutenant. The sniper. So what he does, he moves over to the side and he shoots at that brazen bull. He puts a 3rd marker on that brazen bull, and actually he passes his dash. And he's able to move back into cover. So there's no armor on this sniper priest. So I'm trying to just really keep him in cover. Again, just more failed dashes. I have my trench cleric moves up. He's close to the musician. He just fails his dash. A lot of failed dashes on 3 dice. Now I did pass a dash with my my trench cleric. Not my trench cleric, my trench medic. But she tried to pick up the captain. But she also failed that test as well, even as an extra one here. And yeah, at this point, my observer, I do get some luck on my side, though. My observer is able. He can't see the assassin because of the terrain. So the assassin failed a risky action to charge, but I actually pass. So I'm able to charge that assassin. I knock him down, put 1 blood marker. And that's sort of the end of the first round. You can just see here we've got the observer is doing some work against that assassin, but that assassin's doing okay, and then he's pushing up his 2 Jazzinaries here. Towards here, you can just see here I have a lot of my guys failed some dashes, so if I could have got one of these guys, I could have actually grabbed this objective, but I wasn't able to. So yeah, I don't know, maybe next game I'll pass a lot of dashes, but I don't know, at the same time I've rolled good because I got 3 blood markers on this brazen bull. So like aside from dashes, I've done pretty good. So I'm not going to complain too much. And yeah, this is just showing him just pushing up. And you can see here, this is where the majority of my guys are as well. And that's just showing a picture here. Again, I wasn't able to get the objective here. And then I'm also trying to push up to get the center objective here as well. You can just see here in the building as well, I've got a lot of my guys who are still sort of hanging out as well. And this is just a picture. So afterwards, it was Iron Sultanate 1, New Antioch 0. He was able to grab one of his objectives on his left. I wasn't able to, so it is 1-0. And yeah, we go into turn 2, and the Iron Sultanate chooses to go first as he has more models. First thing he does is he just goes ahead and stands up that assassin, charges that observer. It's a good call. Yeah, knocks down the observer, and then he gets a special ability that if you wound someone, he can like teleport. Luckily, he missed with the second one. His rolls haven't been great, so he actually missed with his second assassin stagger, which could have very easily killed my observer. So I'm just glad the observer is alive. But yeah, he's able to, I think, like teleport over here after he put a blood marker. Yeah, I actually activate my fire team. The first thing I do is I'm trying to take out that Brazen Bull. So I have my sniper. He's moved back in range. He shoots at that Brazen Bull, puts a fourth blood marker on him, and then my leader, he stands up and he basically moves over here, and then he shoots that Brazen Bull. He puts basically it's 4 blood markers. And I use the bloodbath with only because it's a fire team, and I take him out of action, so that activates the Brazen Bull's tough, so he's just knocked down. But I strip away that tough on that Brazen Bull, so that's pretty good. Yeah, his Janissary just moves up and tries to shoot the observer, but it is cover, and the observer gets his little temporal fugue, so he misses the observer. I move up my Trench Cleric and I get a dash off. I throw the grenades and I do another wound onto that assassin. And also he puts a blessing marker onto himself. So that Trench Cleric's doing work. He moves up and he shoots the observer, but he misses. No, I'm sorry. He actually hits the observer. He does 1 wound. I think he actually tries to down him, but luckily he doesn't roll great. So it's only I only get a blood marker. So it's a little bit of luck in that it's 3 dice -1, and I think he rolled like a 7 or something. Either way, that all I get is a blood marker on there. He then dashes up closer. He's in range of this objective, but he's also getting some cover. Yeah, and this is my Yeoman who has the musician. He basically moves up, he dashes. He takes a pistol shot at that assassin, but also misses. I mean, it's long range and in cover, so that's not too bad. Yeah, the bull gets up, moves up. He shoots at my captain. I go ahead and I just burn the blood marker on him so that he misses my captain again. So I don't want that Morad bomber actually hitting, but he does. He is able to knock the lieutenant back down because of it's just the explosion radius. He then fails his dash, but he's forced me to remove some of those blood markers. Yeah, the observer just gets up and charges the assassin, but all I'm able to do is just 1 wound. So I think, these guys are doing a little bit of a pillow fighting over here, but he's up to 3 wounds, 3 blood markers, and that's just him getting a little better wings. And this is on the right of the field. This is of the Janissary. He moves up. He doesn't have anything to shoot at, but then he fails his dash. I'm trying to grab that center objective, so I actually just push up with my combat medic, and I just basically get within 1 inch of this objective while staying in cover. And at this point, his leader, he activates that fire team. His leader moves up, whose Bozzy captain moves up, shoots my medic, hits her, and does 1 wound on her. And then the Ferris moves up and shoots at my leader. Actually, rolls really great. So the leader is down, so he rolls 3 dice and he gets a 12, which is because this guy has machine armor. That's what he needs. So he's basically he's able to proc that tough on my leader. So the leader's tough is gone. So I wanted this guy to move around towards the left and charge that assassin, but I failed my dash roll. Remember, I've been within 4 inches of that. So, my dash rolls haven't been so great, but my other rolls have been good. The guard dog just moves up in front just to sort of protect the objective. And this is where my heavy mechanized infantry just does work. First of all, he passes a dash. He then, and it's not shown, I forgot to take the picture, he throws a grenade and he kills this Janissary, which is great. And then he charges this dog and he just just smashes the dog. So this guy's actually taken out 2 models. So like this guy was like he did great. He had his grenades and he had his greatsword and his trench club. I mean, he basically just took out 2 models. So really great on my heavy infantry, and he's able to claim this objective here. So my luck really spiked there. The alchemist just turns around. He shoots at the heavy mechanized infantry. He knocks him down, but it's machine armor. So it's just 1 blood marker, and then I get an extra blood marker for, I think he has gas on that. So he gets gas. Yeah, this stormtrooper, he moves up and he tries to dash, but he fails. So all my other rolls are going great except my dashes. And speaking of incredibly good rolls, this is the MVP right here. So my Yeoman with just a bolt action rifle moves up. He shoots at the Brazen Bull. So it's long range and cover. It's 4 dice, take the lowest. I hit him, and then I roll an 11 with 3 dice picking the lowest. And this Yeoman gets the miracle shot and takes out the Brazen Bull. Just like, wow, that's crazy. So my luck, even though my dashes haven't been great, my luck is really just getting crazy here. It's just the shock trooper that's just moving up as well. And then I have my combat engineer also moves up. He shoots at the Mameluke Ferris, puts a wound on him. And yeah, at that point, my opponent, I had some really spiky rolls this past turn. My dashes weren't great, but I think every other roll was pretty terrific. So I think at this point, he sort of, as you can kind of see here, I've got this objective, and then the center, I've just got so many guys just pushing up the center here. You can just see I have all these bodies that are just going to be pushing up. I've actually gone ahead and just grabbed this objective, and I've grabbed these 2 objectives, and they have the center. So in this one round, I think I'm scoring 4 victory points. And at this point, I think he sort of looks around, and yeah, it's a turn 3 concession by the Iron Sultanate. Just that's the thing about this game. I've noticed I like the game. I don't know that I'm not quite sure I would play it competitively. It's very spiky. And I think that's something it's a fun aspect of the game, but it's also the other side of it where if you have the spiky rolls, you can just sort of win any game. But you can just see one of the reasons I was able to take out with some really great rolls, especially on his Brazen Bull, able to take out some key figures. And I just have a lot of bodies that are just now pushing up this flank here. And then you can just see here, he's only got his Uzbazi Captain and Ferris here, and then he's got his Alchemist. So it's going to be very difficult in the future. He's sort of got this flank a little tied down, but you can see I'm already pushing up this flank, and I've knocked down his assassin as well. Yeah, and that's just showing as well. Yeah, end of the game. We called it early when he lost some key units, and I really, my dashes were a little wonky, but everything else I rolled great. I would say, and I'm new to this game, I do feel that like both of us talked afterwards. Iron Sultanate feel a little weak, and they feel like expensive. Like I was noticing like in his army, he's got some good stuff, but everything feels expensive in the army. So just some learning points. I'll tell you one thing, that machine armor, especially on New Antioch, is terrific. Like that is really solid there. I also I tried grenades. I really like grenades out. Grenades felt great. Also, just that lieutenant and that sniper priest fire team, that continues to just do work. Where you can just have these two guys go up there and just basically fire team and just do a lot of damage. Really solid. That Sultanate Assassin, as I even mentioned at the beginning, it felt really expensive. He was okay. Like, he wasn't bad. I think he was doing some cool stuff, but he did feel really expensive. He was going against an observer, but the observer is not that incredible. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's everything in the Iron Sultanate. The other thing I've noticed, and I'm not an expert at this game, but Iron Sultanate don't have good mercenaries. Like, they've got the Mamluk Ferris, who's okay. He's I don't even consider him to be. I feel he's a little expensive at 4 glory, and then they just have guard dogs. I really would love to see some more mercenaries come in for Iron Sultanate. I know that the other thing is the bombard. Now we may have played the bombard wrong. It may just be picking a point. So we may have played the bombard where you don't take penalties for long range and cover. Maybe we did that wrong. But we looked at it, and I think we're going to be. He's looking at actually switching out to a flame cannon, which seems a little better. He's also maybe trying to add in some Azebs. So, like I said, both of us are sort of learning this game. But those are just some of the things that I noticed, just offhand. Hey, thanks for watching. Would love to provide feedback. Like I said, we're both, well, I mean, I'm a new Trench Crusade player, so I'd love to get feedback, in the game. Like, subscribe, and comment. And if you're, if you're on our Discord, whether it's OPR or anything, just, send us, I'd love to even see some good, Trench Crusade army lists. So, and if you're an OPR, I always do custom army reviews as well. Hey, thanks everyone.